Chances are you're here because you've signed up for a 10-day Vipassana course, or you're thinking about doing it and you want to make sure you survive the entire way through it. You've come to the right video because I've watched a lot of the other videos on YouTube as well as Googled all the articles to help me with my experience, and I'm going to share with you above and beyond what those videos share. The first and most important thing you're going to realize as soon as you get there is the word equanimity. Equanimity basically means being calm, centered, and okay with anything bad that comes up, but also anything good that comes up. You're going to realize you're having bad meditations, you're having good meditations, quote unquote, but the job and the perspective that you're there to pick up is that whether it's good and whether it's bad, it doesn't matter. You're there to watch and observe with equanimity and without reacting. With that understanding, we'll move into tip number 2, which is don't have expectations. When you have expectations like, okay, it's day 3, I should be getting better at this. It's day 5, why am I not getting this? It's day 7, I should have gotten this. My friend had this experience, I had not this experience. Those expectations are going to make it much harder to meditate because you're not letting what's naturally happening occur at that stage, and you're not meeting it with equanimity. When you have expectations, it's much harder to have equanimity because you have an attachment to the experience you think you should be having. Likewise, when you go there and you sit and you have a good meditation, okay, you can be in equanimity, and then next meditation you're expecting to have that same feeling, but you don't. You get crushed and you feel sad because of it. Don't fall into the trap of expectations, meditation to meditation, as well as what your friend or other person like me told you Vipassana should be. Which leads me to tip number 3, is don't compare your experiences with other people, and especially with yourself. If you've done other meditation practices, yoga, working out, self-disciplines, do not compare one experience to the next, even hour by hour, minute by minute. Just accept what is happening in the moment. Tip number 4, and this I saw right before I started my 10-day Vipassana, I found out that humans are actually really bad at predicting future emotions. If I'm happy right now, I'm expecting to be happy the rest of my life and into the foreseeable future, because that's how I'm feeling right now. If I'm feeling anxious, that's how I see my future, full of anxiety. If I'm feeling sad, depressed, whatever it is, us as humans are horrible at predicting how our future emotions will be. Therefore, if you have a bad day, if you have a bad few hours, don't let that soak into your mentality like, oh, this is how the rest of the thing is going to be. No, it's not. You're going to have ups and downs throughout the whole thing. Don't worry about it. Tip number 5, hugely important, and I'm so glad I practiced this one, is you need to get mobile, you need to stretch, you need to strengthen those legs and posture muscles because you're going to be sitting for so long. If you're an inflexible dude, if you don't have good leg muscles, good knees, good lower back, it's going to be very hard to meditate and sit in equanimity because your body is in so much pain. So I recommend doing is building up to 30 minutes 3 times a day. Yes, this is nowhere near 10 hours a day, but it's a manageable amount, whereas you can sit in the morning, the afternoon, evening, 30 minutes, and just build up your tolerance in these different positions, cross-legged and kneeling and using a chair. Tip number 6, leave any religious beliefs behind. This is just about learning a technique for breathing and feeling with yourself. Although there is some Buddhism shared, it is not forced down your throat, and basically the entire time, they're just asking you to observe yourself and learn about your body and how you feel and how it functions. So leave that at the door and just go in excited to learn a new meditation technique. Tip number 7, and this will definitely save you. There was a lot of people that did not have these 2 items. Obviously, you need good earplugs because you will be sharing a room most likely. And if you're a guy, there's probably going to be lots of guys snoring. Very difficult to fall asleep. But also bring a night mask because over there you can't talk to anyone, so you can't communicate like temperature, sound, light, things like that. If someone turns their light on and it's keeping you awake, that's going to be a problem, so make sure to have those 2 items. Tip number 8, extremely important. You need to understand why you're going there. When I went there, we were about 50 or 60 guys in the group, and about 5 or 10 of them quit out. That's 10 to 20% of the people that started left. So I'm literally calling this surviving Vipassana because you need to be mentally prepared. What are the reasons you have to not quit on yourself when the going gets tough? Whether it's family, friends, relationship to self, career, whatever your motivation is, try and have many of them and really identify them so that when the going gets tough, you can be like, oh yes, this is why I'm doing this. I knew this was going to happen and I knew it'd be tough, and these are the reasons why I'm going to survive this tough experience. And tip number 9, this is extremely important because the beds over there are not so comfortable and it can be difficult to fall asleep when all you do all day is just sit. So for me, when I hit the pillow at 9 o'clock, my mind's still running, I'm still doing the meditation, I'm not ready to go to sleep. Many of you probably watch TV, their phone, listen to something, read something before bed to wind down. You do not have that. So I made this video over here highlighting this technique called PMR that's going to help you, 1, integrate Vipassana, but 2, also help you have a deep and relaxful sleep.